Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin Ethereum report for Wednesday, July 28th, and starting with the Bitcoin here on the, it's a 2-day chart. Nothing special about that. So I just want to have a look at 2 daily counts. One of them is that from the top here, we look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here for the A wave, and then we move up for the B wave here. So in one way or another, we can expect it to the norm would be 61.8%. So we can expect it to come up to here. I was thinking that we've got an A and a B and a C for the A wave, and then the B wave here, and then the C wave here, and then we go down for the C wave over here. So because in this particular count, because we're looking at from the top here as a 5-wave structure, that means that after a correction back to the 61.8% or thereabouts, we'd see another 5 waves down, so that would take us down into wave C at that point. Now, it's pretty hard to conceive of that with all the good news that's occurring around, but as we know, things change over time, so we'll just be very careful about, when we get up to this point here. And it's good that this large number, the 50, which 5 is the second strongest number, if we get this as a nice classic trading level support, well, then we'll turn bullish from that point. But I kind of like this count because this first move here, coming up through here, appears to be corrective. I can treat this as wave 1 here with an A and a B and a C wave here for wave 2, and I can do much the same with Ethereum as well. So it is possible for me to count it in that way. It's just doesn't quite look and feel right. The other bullish count here, I'm going to say bullish count, the other count that I have would take us just straight up from that point, and that we can view here, and we would view this as an expanded flat correction. So in this case, we look for wave A here with an ABC here. In fact, this could also go over to here, but not that it matters too much. It's just looking at this top here in a different way. It's possible to have this like this, and as I mentioned, we would look at this. We could look at this here as wave 1 here. I know it's a bit hard to take on board that wave 1 and 2, but it can work. It can fit. So that would leave us in the 3rd wave here. So yeah, in this case, it will just take us into new highs from that point. Which count do I think is right? Well, I think the other count is right, but I'm always open-minded and I like to sort of gather evidence, and that's what we'll do. We know that this is the 61.8% up here, our target area here. So like I said, there's a good strong resistance here. So if this can wiggle its way and be on this level and become a nice tested support there, well then of course we'll turn bullish from that point there. Obviously, there's hodlers and there's scalpers and there's trend traders and there's all sorts of things going on with folks, so it's a little bit difficult to accommodate all of them in that. But if you were trading long here, we've got a couple of long positions in this little area through here. This would be an area that you could take profit at, and then if we get support, we'll then get back in again, So that's the way that we'll basically handle it in that regard. So our focus really today is about this little structure coming into play here. It is a 5-wave structure, so, well, not yet, but it's looking that way. So if that is the case, then we can expect, after this, we can expect a corrective move in 3 waves down to the 50-60% mark, and then up again from that point there. That's what we're looking at. I mean, if I was counting this as 1 and 2 here and 1 and 2, we wouldn't pull back this far in this instance on this chart, so I won't leave it on that chart. We can do that on the other chart, on this chart here for that. This is more of the corrective move to the upside here for this. Yeah, so there's a good case for having 5 waves down here, whichever way we look at it. So it just depends. It comes back to how you view this over here. I mean, the other point here too is that if it was a wave 4 down here like we had it before, then the market's already pulled down to the 61.8% mark, so it makes it very difficult to be a wave 4. I know on the log scale you can get away with it. I'm not quite sure if that's the right thing to do at this degree of structure. There's no, we're not in a primary wave count structure here, so it's got to be a little bit mindful of that. But like I said, I'm happy to be bullish if this 50 becomes the support, and I'm not trading this, I'm just hodling this. I think I have, I don't know, I'd have to check now, maybe $140,000 in it or something, I'm not quite sure, but not that it matters at this point in time. So let's go in, and yeah, our focus is this little move coming into play there, so let's do that. We'll go to the intraday. So yeah, so from wave 4, all of that there, down to wave 5 to make wave A here, and then going up to wave B here. That's what I was thinking. I could certainly be wrong about all of this, but we'll know in due course anyway. And we've done all the right things so far. We've got the low, we've got the first 5 waves up. We went to go long above that. We've been long above the 35 here, and we've been counting this up here as 1 and 2 and 3 and wave 4 here, and then going up for wave 5. So we need to look at this with a little bit more detail, this sort of area here, but just in the bigger picture here, we can look at this here as well. We can look at it as a classic trading levels pattern. So we've had the arrival, we've had the reaction, right? And now we're looking for the first high above the level. And most times this is wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and wave 5 here. And then we go into some sort of ABC, depending if it's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. And then up again. So this is where we are. We're at the moment, we're about here on this. But still just need to address wave 4 here a little bit more, because let's go to the hourly chart to do that. But everything being equal, we should see this pullback here. We should see some sort of corrective move in around here. Will it pull back to the 50-60% retracement level? Yet to be seen, but we'll be very mindful. What we're actually looking for is the first, once we get the first high above the level, then we can go long above that. We can drop it down to here, of course, and so on and so on with all of that. But let's go to the hourly chart, where we've got a bit more price action and a bit more labeling and so on and so on. So yeah, we spent a fair bit of time counting this all up here as wave 1 and 2, and that was important, because that told us that we'll be going higher at that, confirms that we're going higher at that time, you know. And then we counted 5 waves up here, and anyway, this all happened really quite quickly, you know, the Morgan and Amazon stories entering the fold, so to speak. So what the first thing I need to point out is that the move up here is only in 3 waves, as 1, 2, and 3. Now I've got it as 3 waves, but like technically it could be corrective in 3 waves up here. So this could be wave C up here as an A and a B and a C, and we'd never recover and we'd come down from that point. I don't think that's the case, because we'd need to finish off in 5 waves based on my A wave and B wave and C wave coming up here. So the question is about this ABC pattern here for wave 4. So we've moved down from this, here's the 40%, 38.2, and then the current low here is closer to the 50%. So I wouldn't imagine that the market needs to come down any further. Yesterday we were talking about a little ABC that could sort of squash up in here and finish that off, and I think that that's okay with that. If I'm wrong though, then this would be the B wave over here, and it's not finished yet. I can see we've got 1 and 2 in here. We need to go 3, 4, 5 for that, and then that would bring the C wave over here for that. So I don't know if this is going to be the count here, because this is 38.2%. retracement level, it's probably likely that will only come down to about there. So if I've made a mistake, this would be the mistake. And the mistake would be that we would first of all go up and hit 40 and then have 5 waves down to this point and then move up from that point, and that would be the A, the B and the C. If I'm wrong at this point, then we can look at the wave 4 already being in play over here, and then we'll look for a little classic trading levels pattern over here. But this would take us up at that point. We would need to look at this as, well, wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3, 4 and 5 going up here. So we can put this wave 1 in here, but I'm a bit reluctant to do that as well, because the wave 1 here just doesn't really count as 5 waves. But we're going to go into the tick chart and check on that now. But before we go there, I just want you to understand that where we are, we've got wave 1 here and wave 2 and wave 3 and wave 4, and we're all on target here, and we're looking for wave 5 here. Once this 5th wave comes in here, right, wherever it comes into, let's just, normally we start looking at group 1, so we can put that there at 41, 42 and 43. So the 43 is important, because if we get a tested support on 43, then we know that the market's going to push up to 45. But the important thing about pushing to 45, or the next level, is that it's telling us that we're leaving this here. So if you see support, tested support, it can trade above the level 43, number 3, it can trade above it. But if it gets tested support, then you know that we're leaving this number here, and then we start looking up at the 50 at that point. It all changes from that point. So yeah, getting support on 43 is critical. So I think that the wave 5 will bring us up close to the 42, 43 mark and go a bit higher, and then we should, based on this 5 wave structure that we have moving to the upside, we should see some type of correction. Naturally, we would look back to the 61.8% mark, but we also know too that the market's kind of feeling a bit sort of bullish, and it will probably end up sticking to this number a bit more than anticipated. So I don't think we'll pull back to the 61.8%, but we could. Where would that be? We could take the lows from there to, we'll take it to 43. That would bring us back to here. So that would be about right in that space there for that. So it's not too bad at all. So we may just come down to the 4th wave of 1 lesser degree as well within all of that. Now in the bullish market, we could call this wave 1 and back for wave 2, but the way that we're going at the moment, we'll be calling that wave B. So we'll have a wave B here, plan B. And then from this one here, of course, we'll be pushing up to wave C, which is probably up there, so I won't do that. Yes, it is. So there are our next moves. So if you wanted to buy, then this is, if you wanted to get back in, this is the situation. This is where we'd go from here. In terms of our trades, we've got one in here where it gaps, so there, and one in here. So we'll look to, the normal thing is to wait for wave 5 to come into play, wherever that may be. And yeah, so we wait for that to come in, and then we start working, you know, this is the other side of the coin, isn't it? This is from here. That's going to be, this is one half here, and this is the second half. So we want to be over, to do our next buying, we need to be a bit patient. We want this to roll over, basically, and we can pick it back up here and build in over this side. That's the name of the game. So any purchasing done up here, you will have to carry a loss for a little while until we get back up there again. So yeah, just put that, a line helps. Draw a line in the sand. On this side, we're on this side of the trend, and on this side we're here. So as tempting it is to buy in up here, yeah, so we'll just wait. We'll just wait for this side over here. If I'm wrong, then if the 30 here, the number 3, the 43,000, the number 3 becomes the support, then I'm wrong, and this market just keeps powering to the upside at that point. But I think we've got quite a nice 5-wave structure here. This 5-wave structure coming up here is a little bit better than Ethereum's in this case. I mean, it was a Bitcoin thing, you know, it wasn't an Ethereum thing at this point. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment for this. On the tick chart here, sorry for waffling on too much. I'm trying to think, while I'm talking, I'm trying to think of something intelligent to say. So this, let's just bring in a bit more data here. Okay, so this is just the tick chart, just to go over this a bit more here. We counted all the way up here for what I've removed all of those, and we've got 1 and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here for that. That's how that plays out. The thing here is that I can look at this, I pull this apart, and it counts quite nicely as an A wave and a B wave and a C wave, and we were talking about that yesterday. But the thing that haunts me a little bit is that this here doesn't count very nicely as 5 waves here. So I'm thinking this could be the A wave here, the B wave here, and then up for the C wave. So what does the C wave look like here? So this is the 61.8% here, and that's the 78.6 there. I'm just trying to feel things out. Now, obviously, this strong move here would be from this low here. This would be the third wave coming in here for this. So we can just build it from the outside a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all of that is 1 and 2, do you think? That makes 1 and 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for here, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3. Does not that crash hot in here, but I have to bring all that together there. So we'll just call this 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here. We're still a wave short here for this, so 1 and 2 and 3. Let's pull back a long way. So fourth, maybe some sort of expanded flat. So wave 4 may end up over here as well. But in a nutshell, we're looking for wave 5 to come into play. And then we would look at the next degree here. So all of this here as wave 1 and 2. And that would give us wave 3 up there. That's kind of looking a bit more bullish than I think the wave 4 is already in, and then we'll need wave 5 there for that. So even if this was a B wave, you copy this, would still need to be up here somewhere as an A and a B and a C wave up here for the B wave. So it's going to get up there. It's just that this doesn't count very nicely here as 5 waves. I'll have to go back over and spend a bit of time with that. But the worst case scenario that could occur, just to let you know, is that we move up to here and we come back to the 37.20, which is the 38.2% retracement level, and then we move up from there. The other side here is we look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here to make that top of this 5th wave here. Once we got that into play, then we will be coming back down from that point. So that will go to wave 5 there, and then we'll have some sort of correction coming into play here. And it's this over here where we want to be buying at that point. But if you can see that top, if you can't figure all this out here, just go back to basics, look for the first high above the level, and you can go long above that point. And then if you can find the second high, well, that's fantastic. You can do that. If you can't count the waves in here, well, then you can also just draw a line through here, get a small piece under the level and then above the level and build in. And then think of 41, 42, and 43. These levels here, you could scan, you could, you know, move in on those levels of support, not through here after we've already come down through here for all of that, you know. So we put in 41, 42, 43, and 45. So the idea is that building into group 1 pretty much always gets you in at the beginning of the trend. Yes, in this case, the trend has started down here, and we could get into that, and we probably will if we'll see how things play out here first. we could buy back at the 61.8% mark in there. Alrighty, I'll leave Bitcoin at that. We'll just recap Bitcoin just for a little bit on this here. So this is the basic story here. So from the low here, we counted up as 1 and 2 and 3 and a bit unsure about wave 4, but because it pulled back 50%, I don't think it needs to come back any further. So I think we're in here. We need still wave 5 to come into play, of wave C, of wave A here. We could, in the bullish count, would count this a little bit differently. In both cases, whatever the count is, in both cases we should see an ABC pattern pulling back for wave B here. That's what we should see. So to buy back at 30, if you see the market back at 35, then start looking for a trade setup. And for a trade setup, you really want to see from the low here, if we can count 5 waves in this C wave, because this will be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. So that C wave will have 5 waves in it. Once it's finished, then we'll look for the first little impulse wave to the upside. Once you've got 5 waves here, then you can buy the top here, put the stop under here, and if that's triggered, then that gets you to that point, and you can lift your stop up to that point, and then just keep halving your risk at that point. So we need evidence of an impulse wave to the upside. So even when it does land, you could probably buy, if you can get it right, if this is 5 waves here, you can buy on the low of the 5th wave. So in the 5th wave there'll also be 5 waves in that. So you could buy in the 5th of the 5th or the 5th of the 5th of the 5th. Because there will be a bounce at the 35 if that's going to be the case anyway. But anyway, that's what we're waiting for. So yeah, we've done all the right things. We've got a position in here somewhere. We've got a position in here somewhere. We're just going to wait for this dance to play out here and pull back. And then we're going to look to get back in again. If we're wrong and this market just pumps straight to the upside here, well, then we'll know that we're wrong above the 43. If you see 43 as a tested support with a classic trading levels pattern, then you'll know that Pete was wrong again and I need to be long at that point. So just trying to find 43, close enough. Yeah, so that 43 tells you that we're not coming back. If we get support on 43, we're not coming back here. We're going to be going higher at that point. So you need to know at what point you'll be wrong. And that's the point I'm telling you at that point. So Ethereum is basically the same. The wave 3 here in Bitcoin is a bit neater and tidier and longer than Ethereum, but it was a Bitcoin thing really, you know, with Morgans and Amazon, so on. So where's my ETH chart? Here it is here. I haven't, this is just a tick chart. I was just counting down. So we've got the same situation here. I just want to have a bit of a look in here. It's the trouble with wave 4s, they can just get a little bit messy. But that's our thing here. This move here looks like it's still got another move to go here, because this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for here. So that's 1 and 2. That could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 3rd wave, 4th wave. So there's still another move here, whichever way you look at it, but it could fail at that point. So I come to the same conclusion here with that, you know, do we have wave 4 in here? Or do we look at all of this as the A wave here, the B wave over here, and the C wave coming back over here for the waveform? That's what I'm not quite clear on. But we do have this down here in 3 waves, so it can go there. That's the main point. Somebody needs to sort, I should sort it out, but if you want to sort it out, if you can count 5 waves in this move, because if this is in 3 waves here, then you know that this is an A and a B and a C for the B wave. If this is in 5 waves here, then we've got half a silly chance that we can call that wave 1 here and wave 2 coming back here on the tick chart. Let's just go to the hourly chart here for a moment, bring that back into 200, bring this into the hourly chart, bring this in here and here. So yeah, so off the low here, we've just been doing much the same. So we counted up here, I've removed all these as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So we've got wave 1 and 2. And then we looked at this being wave 1 and 2 here, and the same as Bitcoin here. So we've got 5 waves for wave 3, wave 4, pulling back, and then a small wave 5 here. I mean, wave 1's not that big. I mean, it gapped, but so that's it. So that's wave 3. This is wave 4 here, and I'm wondering if that's in play. Have already completed, or we're going to have wave 4 over here, and it's going to get a little bit messier for this. That's what we don't know at this point. And also the same thing applies here as well. Like the reality, you know, apart from me, you know, mentioning that it's going to be moving higher, we've only got 3 waves up here. All right, so, but there is a good case for this move down through here to be 3 waves. So that sort of takes that wave C away, but it's not that clear, so I'll just leave it there for the time being. But this is sort of where we're at the moment with this. So this is all about 2 numbers here. One of them is the 23 here, because that's the top of minor group 1 of major level 2. And then we've got the medium level here at 2500. So yeah, 2 things here. We need to see support build up for this number here, which it's starting to do. Like it went through it and it's come back through it, and now it's going to spend time here, and it may go to wave 4 or it may go up to wave 5 here. But it's building this floor in here, this support in here, because when this comes back down the other side over here, this support here will, all of this here will be the support for that. So we'll be able to pull that up in there for that. But yeah, look, that's where we are. So we may have one more little move down here before going up, or we go straight up to here. Hopefully we go straight up for here and keep it nice and clean. And if that's the case, you start counting 5 waves up here, and then we'll see this ABC come back. So in terms of trading, trend traders, you'll only get trapped in all of this. So if you get a tested support on here and you want to go long on top of this, well, then you trade up to the 25, take most of it here. Any more you can suck out of it, that's good. But yeah, it's going to fold back, so just need to be a bit mindful about that. Alrighty, I'll leave that at that. There's no point in looking at the crypto index. It's just really the same here. So we're looking from the low here, we're looking for 5 waves up here, and then a correction. And on the crypto index, I mean, I've got this as wave 3, 4, and 5 here, but the reality is too, in terms of a move higher, we could look at this as wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 1 here, and then an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave all the way down here. So we could look at this as wave 1 here and wave 2 here, as we haven't taken out the low. So I'm aware of that. If we need to do that later on in life, then we'll look at that, because it does count. I mean, there's overlapping wave structures. So yeah, so how do we, you know, work all of this? You know, I mean, that's the tricky thing. It becomes easier in hindsight, but yeah, just to let you know that with Bitcoin, we can do the same thing. We can look at these as wave 1s to the upside. It just doesn't allow these to finish off very well on these lows here for this, but I'm sure we could organize an A, B, C, D, and E here for this here, as this wave 4 can go to here, leaving this as wave 5 here with the triangle pattern in here, and then up for 1 here, an A and a B and a C wave for wave 2, not taking the low out there. It can come back to, you know, right on the 1 point there, as long as it doesn't go past it. That's the thing. That's one of the rules. So we could be in a much stronger 3rd wave to the upside here, but this will become apparent as we move along. Anyway, just shooting the breeze. Thanks for tuning in, and check you tomorrow.